Okay. Hey, everybody. We are going to tune in as Mike does an experiment on his counter and shows us the experiment.
That's a perfect intro. We're going to talk tonight. We talked about it. Where did we? I got to think about this where I put it. I got to find it here. Hang on one second. Um, all right. All right. Learn how to alkalize. Okay. Clean blood vessels are the key to getting rid of 90% of chronic diseases. That's what I posted. And that's why I will never stop saying that if you want to live your best life, your life to the fullest, you better start learning how to alkalize and put yourself into a place. Are you spilling stuff all over the place over there? Wow. So I'm just see you guys are stuck on me. I'm stuck on Seagal. She's doing stuff, water's flying. It's like a sprinkler system over there.
Oh my God, you guys saw that.
Yeah, we saw it.
It's Monday.
So we're going to talk a little bit about this stuff that we all call alkalizing. And I don't keep notes. Let's put it that way. I never do anything with notes because I want it to be authentic. I don't want to sit there and be reading and things like that. But, I want to have you understand a few things while we go through all this and the best way and the proper way and what to do and all these types of things, right? And this is going to be much like my video that I did because it's, these things don't change, right? But understand this. I think the most important thing you could ever understand is that, when medicine gives you, its prognosis, right? Make sure to complete the sentence, for them, right? Complete the sentence for them with these words. Listen very closely. With medicine. See, you only have a few weeks to live with medicine. Okay. You have this incurable health situation with medicine, right? See, prepare yourself. There's nothing that we can do with medicine. Then think of that because that whole system is a mess, right? And so we're going to learn a little bit about this, right? About alkalizing and so on and so forth, and what to do and how to do it and understand it. You know what? I showed this a couple seconds ago. Look, here is the problem with folks that have issues. For the most part, it's here in the refrigerator and here in the cupboards, right? I don't put things, I showed this before. See, this is my cupboards, right? I don't put things in my cupboard where I know that I have a weakness. I came from the Midwest. Right? And my weakness is everything that comes from the Midwest, okay? So I don't have chips in here. I don't have cookies in here. I don't have sweet things in here. You know what I got? Show you what I got, right? Just to show you, right? What do I got? I got USDA. So I want something sweet. I'm going to go open up my cupboard here and grab a USDA certified organic mango bites. That's what I do. See, that is my cupboard. Okay. And same with the refrigerator. You're going to see salads. You're going to see all great stuff. And we didn't tune in to see Mike's refrigerator and his fruits and his citrus and his avocados and his all this, right? That's what I do. Now, that's not to say that someday maybe something out of the blue might hit me, because it could, right? But I do know that 50% of all chronic, really bad, I don't even say the word, those diseases will happen based on what you're putting inside yourself. And the other, and then the other, then you gotta, so you can avoid the worst thing in the world, 50% avoidance by what you put inside yourself, and 46% by what you're putting on top of yourself. Now, my topical stuff's all over the place in here, but if you look at it, you're going to see, as Seagal did. Look, you know what? There aren't many people that have ever been into the Winnegar household is like the bat cave, right? I got to take the spray, knock you out, get you here, spray it back in so you don't know where I'm at. And I don't live in some, these people think, I'm probably the poorest CEO that exists, okay? Because we put our money into the product line. I don't live in a 10,000, 20,000 square foot house. I don't need that, right? But what I do is I put all this money back into a product line where you spend the same amount of money on what you're already purchasing. But in this situation, you're getting all certified organic stuff because that's the way you should be doing your things. So with that being said, let's look at this alkalizing, because I want you to understand something. Okay. Your stomach does not digest your food. Your stomach is a primary organ that's responsible for alkalizing the food we eat, as well as alkalizing the acids created from metabolism. Okay. It's not your stomach that's doing anything. It's not even the acid in your stomach. The acid in your stomach does nothing when it comes to digestion. All the acid does is it creates an environment. It creates this environment for your body to drop enzymes like crazy, because enzymes do one thing. They digest. Digestive enzymes. Okay. That's what they do. Right. And that's, and they come from everywhere, from the pancreas, from the liver, from the kidneys, from the gallbladder. All these things work together. And as we get older, you're going to lose them. Right. The first day you're born is your best digestion. The second day you're living, you already lost a percentage of your digestive capabilities. And every day you lose more. And by the age of 35 to 42 years old, sometimes even sooner, you've lost 50% of your digestive capabilities. That's 50%. That's a lot. Okay. And with that being said, well, guess what? That's why when you were in your teens, wow, guess what? You could do all these different things, eat everything. You could eat everything. Chew on somebody's arm if you had to and it digest, okay? Didn't matter what you ate. When you ate it, you would be, there was nobody, not many. I couldn't say there was nobody, but there's not many people that when they're children, they're like, whoa, you could just eat just practically anything and nothing bother you. Now we got, I can't eat that. I'm lactose intolerant. I can't have gluten. I can't have that. Can't do that. Can't eat that anymore. You can eat everything if you got the right digestive enzymes. Your body's not making those enzymes anymore. So you either get it now and you start doing what is right, not because Mike told you to do it, because that's life. Okay. Or what happens is you start, you're going to get yourself into a chronic situation, and then you'll say, oh yeah, that Mike guy, now we got to talk to Ron, try and fix something. Hard to fix something with a broken machine. So we have to understand that we got to keep ourselves right, because that is the way you live your life. So with that being said, we're going to talk about alkalizing. And alkalizing happens in a few places, your entire body and in the blood, right? But blood kind of keeps itself at bay from an alkaline standpoint. The alkalinity of your blood is 7.365. It'll only fluctuate a little bit one way or the other, or else you wouldn't be alive. Okay. So we aren't looking to alkalize the blood, but we do want to feed the blood the right things in order to keep ourselves better than par, right? So we look at chlorophyll, right? So we're going to start with alkalizing. So the first thing you want to talk about is, well, let's pull back the brakes because let's get proper digestion first, right? Because we just talked about that, all right? And so now, what do? You're 35. And by the time you're 40 years old, think about this. You're 40 years old. Guess what's going to happen? Every 10 years you live at that point, every year you lose 1% of your digestive capabilities until, like I said, something happens. And guaranteed something will happen. I just don't know when. Sometimes it's sooner, sometimes it's in the middle, sometimes it's a little longer, but it happens. You need to get that right, or else you're not going to be a well person. You're going to be sick. You're going to get sick a lot. You're going to have pain. You have inflammation. You're going to wonder why that guy over there is in his 60s running around like he's, a 15-year-old kid. And I'm in my 60s. I'm sitting in, with my feet up in an easy chair and I can hardly move. I need somebody to pull me out of the chair and I'm hobbling over to wherever I need to hobble. Well, there's reasons for that, right? And so we're going to get our digestion great and proper again. Well, what does that mean? That means you have to do, by the time you're 30 years old, whatever your body did for you, it doesn't do it anymore. You have to now take care of your body. Just like you can't drive your car without gas in it. So what do you got to do? You got to go to the gas station all the time. Put gas in, put gas in, put gas in, or you can't get nowhere. Well, you're not going to get anywhere in life if you don't start doing the right things on the inside of yourself, because you'll be not feeling well. So enzymes, right? Talk about daily digest. That's number one. Digestive enzymes. This is really a simple formula, okay? Because when we eat, there's two types of protein that we get from food, all right? There's muscle tissue protein, and then there's straight flesh protein. Muscle tissue protein is beef, lamb, pork, chicken, turkey, bison, deer. I don't care. If it's an animal, it's muscle and it's tissue. All right. And then when you got flesh protein, that's anything from the water. If it comes out of the water, that's flesh protein. Okay. Scallops, shrimps, crabs, lobsters, tuna, fish, salmon, anything. If it comes out of the water. Okay. Well, what's the rule of thumb? Really simple. We talk about this all the time. You are going to eat this animal, whatever animal that is. So I'll tell you what, you can put it into the chat. Okay. I'll look into the chat for the answer. And until I see the answer, we won't continue, because that's called class participation. And it gives me time to take a sip of water. How's that? When a person eats muscle tissue protein, a steak, a hamburger, chicken, turkey, any of those animals that is muscle and tissue, and I say, whoa, why are you eating that chicken? Why do you got that steak? What is the nutritional value of all that? Or what's the nutritional value of the hamburger or whatever? What do you think they tell me? Go ahead, type it in there. First one that gets it right was Seagal. She must have dried her shirt. That thing was soaked. All right, protein, right. So, well, here's the deal. When I think of all these animals, what animals did they eat to get their protein? They didn't. They ate plants. Okay. So now the way of thinking, okay, unfortunately is this. Wow, we're going to eat that big, fat, unbelievable cow. We're going to get a lot of protein out of that cow. But guess what? The cow ate the plants to get the protein. Then the cow's body used the protein to get big and strong. And then we're going to eat this cow. We're going to butcher and eat this animal and think we're going to get post-digested protein because he already used up the protein that he had. Well, guess what? Problem right there. Because you know what? I use this example all the time. I come to your house. We go for a ride. boom, car hits a dog, the dog dies on the side of the road. I'm going, oh my gosh, there's a dead dog on there. Don't worry, Mike, the city's going to come back. He said he's going to come by and they're going to pick it up. They'll have it by tomorrow. Now the second day comes, it's laid there all day for one day. Second day comes, we drive past a dog. I go to the city, didn't pick it up. Look, it's starting to look nasty. It's starting to bloat. Its tongue's hanging out. It's getting dried up. It's nasty. Oh my God, it's getting bigger. You know what? Flies are on it. Well, don't worry about it, Mike. Tomorrow the city's going to pick it up. Now we go back the third day. It sits there all 3 days. And oh my gosh, not only that happens, but now its eyes are popping out. And, I'm going to say it the way it is because it is the truth. Now there's maggots on it, right? Ooh, guess what? That's what happens in your gut with meat, with all that muscle tissue protein. 3 days. What's the difference of eating the steak or going and eating that dead dog on the side of the road? Here's the answer. There is zero difference. But if you are that person that has to go out there and you have to go out there and oh my gosh. If you have to go out there and eat that meat because for some reason you just can't get away from it, well, you better take 8 enzymes because that's what you're going to need. Because the perfect meal isn't the meat. The perfect meal isn't the salad and the fish or anything out of here or anything out of here. The perfect meal is the one that you just ate and you're going to assimilate, meaning it's going to absorb into your body. You're going to pull all the nutrition. It's going to cellulize. It's going to metabolize. And then you're going to eliminate it in 8 to 10 hours. Eliminate. That means you're going to go sit on the toilet and poop. How does that sound? Because that's eliminating. That's how it's going to happen. Just so you know, that throwing it out there, Mike's the real guy, so he's going to tell it the way it is. All right. So that's what's going to happen. Now, you know what? That's the perfect meal. So if you had to have that meat, you better get that out fast because you don't want it rotting in your stomach for 3 days because that's going to get you in a lot of trouble. So how are you going to do it? You're going to have to take 8 enzymes. I don't know about anybody else's enzymes because first you have to make sure that the enzymes even work by doing the whole food test. We know that these work. Our gut products have been nominated for the Nobel Prize. That's how good they work. So 8 of these things. Now, if you're going to say, okay, I can avoid that because I do, Mike does. So we're going to have, you know what? We're going to, and I'm going to tell you what, I will be honest with you. I did go last night. I went golfing yesterday because it got a little warm out and it was Sunday and I took my kids out. Okay. Then I came back or they wanted me to go to eat in an Italian restaurant. I'm like, what am I going to eat in there? And so guess what? Mike got around something that he likes, that he grew up liking. And you know what? I did it. I had pizza. It's crazy. I did it. And I've been, oh, I shouldn't be even doing this live. I should be laying in bed with my feet up because I feel so nasty. I've sat on that toilet so many times. You think I'm a king on that throne. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm blasting it out with the enzymes. True story. See, Mike's not perfect either. So don't everybody, because, everybody thinks that's the thing. It's not. Okay. So I got a little crazy and ate the pizza, and I've done that before in my life. And guess what happened the last time I did it? I want to go sue the restaurant for food poisoning. And I feel the same way right now. And I haven't done that in like years and years. That, put me around it. That's right. Put the kid's hand in the jelly bean thing. That's what he's going to do. Take the jelly bean, right? That's why I stay away from places like that or be a little bit more careful. But, kids force me, right? Everybody forces, kids force me. So 8 enzymes, and I'm pounding the heck out of these things right now to get everything out, okay? Right. So what's the rule of thumb with the enzymes? If you're going to eat meat, you got to have 8 enzymes done. Nothing in between, all right? If you're going to eat anything else, straight flesh protein is fish. That's the best thing you possibly do. Anything from the water, anything from anywhere, or a salad, 4 enzymes. 4. Okay. So you can tell it was golfing, right? 4. Okay. Right. And I golf. I'll tell you why I golf a lot, not because I want to. So when I'm doing these lives and I'm telling you to take 4, you can actually see those fingers because they're nice and bright and white. All right. So, all right, there you have it. 4 enzymes. And the thing about if you want to lose weight, and even if you don't want to lose weight, look, I'm not a guy that needs to lose weight, but I take 4 enzymes before every night at bed. Why? It's better than nitric oxide. You can't even compare these enzymes to nitric oxide because now, if I did everything right, which you did do because you're doing these things, and when do we take these things? Right before every single meal. You don't put a piece of food in your mouth until this stuff hits your stomach. Why? Because that's what your body does. That's what your body did used to do. Okay. The enzymes, right? And you know what? You want to keep in good shape. You want to really make sure you're at way up here instead of maybe even there. That's good, but way, way up there where you can't see my hand. I'm looking, right? You can't see it. Way up there. 4 enzymes before you go to bed, right before you put your head on the pillow. Okay. Why? And that's great because it's going to expand. Did you know that inside your body, not mine, I got it too. We have 60,000 miles, 60,000 miles of arteries and capillaries and veins. Guess what happens when you take enzymes at night? Enzymes, digestive enzymes do one thing. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to take some more water. They only do one thing. And I just said it in the name. These are digestive enzymes. What is their function? One word. What is it? Come on now. If you don't do that, you're going into the bathroom with me because I'll be peeing a lot of water over here.
Digest. Somebody said.
Perfect. I love it. All the way from the tundra where it's frozen. All right. She's right. They digest. So now we've taken our enzymes properly. We're sleeping. The enzymes get into it. They're like, hey, well, there's a little bit of that. We'll get rid of that. But there's so many enzymes in here, guys. What are we going to do? And then they say this. I got a great thing to do. We just, hey, we dilate the capillaries and the veins and the arteries, which allows more oxygen to get into your body, which is alkalizing. And then they run around like little Pac-Man. We know that game, Pac-Man. And if you didn't, hey, if you're watching and you don't know the game Pac-Man, go ask your mom. Okay? She played it. Here's the deal. Chomp, 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 chomp. Chomp, 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 chomp. That's Pac-Man. Okay. Now these enzymes are little Pac-Men in your gut, not in your gut, in your bloodstream. It's in your bloodstream. And it's looking, oh my gosh, there's some uric acid. Chomp, 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 chomp. There's an unwanted protein. Chomp, 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 chomp. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. This guy must have took that. Look at that, everybody. This guy took the jab. He took the jab. You know what? For that virus that they made up. Oh my, well, guess what that is? That's protein. They're trying to mimic proteins. Let's go get them too. Chop, 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 chop. That's how you get the jab out of your system, right? So, all right, but you got to do that quite some time. So it's going to look for everything. Uric acid. It's going to look for bacteria. It's going to look for fungus. And it's going to clean you up so much that the next time you go, I don't do blood tests anymore because they're about 18 to 25% inaccurate. So why do I need it, right? Unless I feel like I need, unless I'm something happened, I got in a car accident or something like that, and I got rushed to the hospital. I don't need that. So you know what they do? But the next time you do it, here's what they would do. The phlebotomist, isn't that what they call them? I think that's what they call them, right? So I'm watching Connie's head. She's the last one that spoke. So she's brilliant. Just keep watching. I look for Connie. I look at Connie for the answers, right? So here comes a phlebotomist and she goes, whoa. And you're like, what? And they're like, that blood, it's like so fire engine red. It's so bright, 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 because that's the color it should be. What made it do that? Your enzymes. Okay. So when you eat, we take our enzymes and we take whatever it is, 8 or 4, and 1 probiotic. Okay. Food jams probiotics into the lower GI tract, nothing else. So when you're in the refrigerator and you're grabbing that yogurt with tons of sugar in it, sugar feeds disease. Okay? Get away from it. But the bottom line is there's nothing that you can take that's going to get those probiotics where they need to be, which is in your lower GI. Because once they get in your stomach, they have to get down there, and they're going to get all eaten up by the acid in the stomach. If you don't have food in it, you're eating a meal, so it jams that probiotic down. Well, what does the probiotic do? Well, basically, it helps digest things that your digestive enzymes miss. So first thing you got to do, no matter what it is in your life, get your gut right. Simple. And that's how you do it. Imagine that. Two little things. If everybody did these two things, if all of a sudden we could be like, like flip on a light and everybody in the world, every TV station, everything goes to one thing, and it says, look, here's the deal, and I'm going to talk, and I get 5 minutes. I'm going to teach everybody at the age of 30, use these properly, just this, that's all you do. And if everybody in the world did it, there'd be no cholesterol issues, no heart disease, no plaque and calcification, no strokes. You know what comes with that? Here's what I think. This is one I'm just throwing in the mix. Probably no cardiologists. Who needs them at that point? So there you have it. Now, we got that right. Then we start alkalizing. And there's certain things you do. So if anybody in the world ever tells you that you need to, hey, guess what? We got this product. It's unbelievable. It's alkalizing. Really? How can you do it with one product? You can't. So one, you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to alkalizing. Or two, you're telling a story and you're not telling the truth. And you're not telling the truth because you want to make some money. That's what companies do all over the place, everywhere. So understand we have to do things to alkalize, and it comes in steps. And there's 6 things you got to do. Okay. This is number 1. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the blood, because blood is our friend. All right. And if you know anything, I mean, everything comes from your red blood cells. All right. Everything that's made, it's the foundation for which all other body cells are created, right? Those red blood cells, they become your skin, the heart, the bone, the teeth, the eyes, liver, kidneys, pancreas, thyroid, right? Brain, muscle, okay, we're all adults here, tendons, sperms, eggs, prostate, ovaries, uterus, gonads, okay? I mean, we can keep going on and on. Every single part, intestines, stomach, hair, etc. Everything. That's your foundation, right? So we need to get that really right. And we have to understand that chlorophyll has the same chemical makeup as blood. And you know what? I'd like to, I don't want to get into it because, to be honest with you, I do this every Tuesday night when I talk about, chlorophyll. Okay, so let's not rehash that. But let me tell you something. Chlorophyll needs to be your best friend. It needs to be your best friend. Why? Because it's the best food for building healthy blood, and healthy blood becomes healthy body cells. Does that make sense? Hopefully I'm really getting, I know this is like, hey, what are we in college here? Yeah, we're in alkalizing college right now. Okay. So, and those who consume diets that are really high in juices, right? And in dark leafy, green, you know, greens, let's put it that way, right? You're living a superior life, right? Spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally. I mean, you are right there, right? Green is good. Remember that, right? Green is good. It's good in here. It's good in here. I'd show you my pockets. It's good in there too. So green's good everywhere, right? And I've done this for a reason. So let me just tell you it, because it's the truth. Essante Organics has the earth greens, right? We're going to talk about the earth greens, okay? Here it is, number 3. Here's your number 2, whatever. This is part of Alkalizing. Here we go. All right. They have the highest chlorophyll content than any other greens in the world. I said it, in the world. And we focus on 100% certified organic, live, raw, green, alkaline, whole food nutrition. And what makes it stronger than anything else in the world, because nobody knows how to do a negative charge on a green, right? Because there isn't like, hey, I want that. You go to the store. I want that machine that puts a negative charge on the greens. It doesn't exist. Okay. We had to figure it all out. It's called having good engineers. And you make the greens, and you put the probes in, and boom, you got a 750 megahertz ion its charge that makes this product isotonic, meaning the product will absorb. It will absorb into your tissues, cells, and blood before it even enters the large intestines, right? Now, what does that mean? What does that look like? It's really simple. It's going to be like this, is when you take in your greens and you take a, kind of popping all over the place already, out of the jar even. There, that's what they look like. And then you move your hand around them, and then they start popping, and you get them close to you, and they're popping all over the place. So you ain't doing nothing. They're just jumping at you, right? That's a negative charge. And you know what? Everybody on this thing's I'm gonna send me $1, please, because I need dry cleaning now because it's all over me. Perfect. All right. So greens are just for the blood. That's it. Greens are for the blood. All done. Well, that makes that part alkaline. But guess what? We got one of the biggest parts we need to make alkaline, and that is the internal environment. The internal environment. And there's only one way you're going to be able to do that, is getting a good quality pH drop. Now, pH drops can be made up to 14. That's all watch what I'm going to say. That's all that the not only the law in the United States, I'm talking the law in every single country in the world. They won't let you make it past the 14. But nobody does it because they're like, oh, they're scared at that point for some reason. I don't know what. Guess what? One company makes it at 14. Want to take a guess? Put it in the comments. No, you don't have to, because you're talking to the company, right? You're in it. Essante Organics. This is what keeps your interior environment alkaline. So what does that mean? What we're going to do, I'm going to do it right here. I got to open this thing up, and I didn't take the thing out, take this thing off, but I'm going to show you what I would recommend to do. I know what it says on the label, because you have to have a label and it has to say some things. But here's what I would do. I would take this thing like I got right here, and I would squeeze everything out of it and hold it real tight, right? And then I would fill it up. And then I would take it and I would squirt it in my water, all of it. And I would take 4 squirts. You know what I do? I don't count squirts. I just pour it in. That's what I do. That's what Mike does. Be like Mike, right? What the commercial says. And I shake it up. And guess what? I'll tell you what I know I'm doing. I'm alkalizing, right? Let me get some alkalizing in here. Love it. Now, let me show you what 14 looks like on a strip. How do we measure our pH? With a pH strip that we'll talk about later. Let me show you what that looks like, right? You guys can all see that. If we touch it, it's going to turn purple, all right? That's 14. That's crazy. That's why you don't get that on your clothes. Don't take it raw, nothing like that. Got to mix it. When you take pH drops, do not take pH drops 30 minutes before you eat, and do not take pH drops 30 minutes after you eat. Connie just left her chair. Connie's back in her chair. She's alkalizing. All right. So with that being said, watch what I'm saying, right? Oh, kind of got me all worked up. I forgot what I was saying. Is that do not take pH drops 30 minutes before you eat. Do not take pH drops during you eat. Do not take pH drops 30 minutes after you eat, because you don't want to neutralize the acid in the stomach. All the acid in the stomach does is set up the environment for enzymes to drop to do your digestive processing. You don't want to do that and make that and start neutralizing the acid, because you're going to feel it. You're going to get some burping going on, crazy stuff, okay? Just don't do it. That's the rule of thumb. So now we got greens, right? We talked about that. And this is very simple. pH drops in everything you drink. Now, if you're one of those wine drinkers, I'm not saying who it is because I can see them on the screen. And if you're smiling, then I know you are, because I didn't know anybody until you start smiling, right? So the bottom line is you can neutralize anything. Coffee, you can neutralize fruit juice, everything, just by putting enough of these pH drops in. And put a lot in so it neutralizes it, because then it will make it alkaline, and then you're doing yourself a favor. Your body's going to love you for that. Okay, now, perfect. Now hey, look at that. We got a alkaline, our blood's perfect. Oh my gosh. And how do we check ourselves? How do we know if we're alkaline, right? Very simple. You get up in the morning, we got these pH strips, right? And you're going to pull one off, and you're going to take it off like that, and we're going to pee on it. Don't worry, I'm not doing it. We're going to pee on it, okay? And then we're going to see what color it is. We're going to quick set it down. We're going to take another one, and we're going to put it in our mouth, right? Now, we don't want to look at mine because it's going to be real alkaline, because I just took pH drops, but that's what you're going to do. Pee on it, do this, and when they match, you're like, wow, look at that, you're alkaline. When you pee on a pH strip, it's always going to be pretty much alkaline, okay? So that's how we alkalize. That's how we measure ourselves, okay? And don't get worried if you're a little off. Don't get worried. You just don't want to be in the yellow and green stuff. I mean, the yellow and these numbers, because the way it works is, if you're at 7.4 or 7.365 is perfect, right? Perfect alkalinity. 7.2 is still good. 7.0 is neutral, all right? But when we start getting to 6.8, you're 10 times acidic. Then it goes in multiples of 10. Oh, we're 6.6. Well, that's 100 times too acidic. Don't start doing the math backwards and getting these yellow spots, because you know what? Put me in your will, all right? Because that is not a good reading. You got to get your alkalinity up. We check with these strips. So we've talked about the greens. We've talked about the pH drops. We talked on how to check ourselves, right? And we're going to talk about this next. Now that we're all alkaline, our body's working. It's working. It's like just going, baby. It's working. And you know what it's doing? It's breaking up toxicity, okay? No disease, no illness, no virus, no sickness, no cancer. Oh, I hate that word. No fat can live in an alkaline environment. So depending upon how alkaline or acidic we are, it's how we drop weight. And you can't be cheating, okay? Can you cheat? Yes, but don't think that you're going to get drastic results by doing this and then cheating at the same time. You're either disciplined or you're not. And if you're not, it's going to be a lot longer time for this thing to work its way out. Okay. Will it happen? Yeah, it's going to take longer. All right. So now we got the omega 3, 6, and 9s. So having good oils in your body is so important for not getting inflammation, for your joints working properly, for the communication system to fire correctly and get the right signals down there, like, hey, knee, bend, okay, we're gonna walk, start bending, that kind of thing, right? Oh, my knee was going like that, just so you know, like, or my arm, hey, it's there, it's coming there, it's telling my arm to move. That, if you're oiled well, it gets it, and that's really, really, really important that you do that, that you keep yourself well oiled for all those. But more so than that, I'm going to tell you what, you're breaking down toxicity. We're eliminating toxicity all the time. And if you're not well oiled, what's going to happen is this toxicity, you're going to break it down because you're alkalizing. It's going to let loose. And because it's sticky, it's going to grab onto this right here and it ain't going out. And then now we're like, oh, I got a little poochie pocket there. It's kind of like cottage cheese feeling kind of thing, I got a little of that going on too myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I gained some weight over the holidays because I didn't have enough bananas. How's that? Right? Great source of potassium there. But so I'm alkalizing to get back. And the thing is, because I cheated just like everybody else. But here's the deal, is that these keep you well oiled. What does oil do? It makes things slippery. So when this toxicity is breaking up, it's going boom, boom. You're sitting on the toilet and it's going boom, boom, boom. And the city's going, wow, somebody at that address must be alkalizing because it's really coming through the pipes, right? You hope they're saying that because then you're alkalizing. That's how you alkalize. Now, with that being said, there's another part of alkalizing, all right? Which is, in order for this to happen all properly, you're going to have to take vitamin D3. All right. That's the best source of vitamin D. Don't think you're going to go outside and go, oh, I got all my vitamin D today. That don't even work in Arizona, where if you saw my brother, you think this guy has so much vitamin D. He's got vitamin D for their whole state, right? Because just go look at Danny. That's all I got to say. You just look at that guy. That's not good vitamin D. That's great vitamin D. It's great vitamin D, but there's vitamin D from the sun that does this, and topically for you, and then there's vitamin D supplementation that needs to be in your system, because if you ever did blood work and your vitamin D levels are low, they're going to want you to get up there quick. And they come up with all these different numbers. Depending on the doctor, I've never heard a doctor say the right number. What's the right number? Well, from an alkalizing standpoint, 10,000 IUs. That is what our vitamin D is. Now, it also has K2, which is a beautiful nutrient. And why is it there? Because if you're K2 deficient, well, then it may not transport well enough, right? And then you're like, oh no, don't worry. I wonder if I'm K2 deficient. Don't worry, because guess what? You ain't got to go get checked out. There's enough in there for everybody. So the thing is, that's something you don't have to be checking and giving anybody extra money for. It's already in there. It's a great nutrient. A lot of things K2 does. We can get in that another time. But vitamin D3, 10,000. Oh man, I got to say this again. 10,000 IUs. Okay. Everybody's got wrong numbers. You want to be alkaline, you need 10,000 IUs. What does vitamin D3 do? It's like a little train. And here's your calcium. This is your box car. And guess what? This thing ain't going anywhere. You can have all the calcium you can have more calcium right now inside your body and still get a horrific situation because it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Calcium is the most used mineral in the entire human body. It's the most used. So guess what? It buffers. It's alkalizing. So when you have pain in the knee or your toe or your ankle or your elbow or anywhere else, anywhere there's inflammation, vitamin or calcium is a mineral, the most used mineral in the body. It comes in there and here's the inflammation. It's like, oh, that shouldn't be there. It's gone. Okay. It can't do that. You can have more vitamin D in your body than me and it won't work because you know what? What gets your calcium there is your vitamin D. So your vitamin D is going to back up to this boxcar like an engine and clamp. It says your communication system going, oh, my knee hurts. My knee hurts. and it's going to go boom. Vitamin D is going, don't worry, we'll be down there in a second. Shh. Boom, 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 boom. And that's what it does. So that's why you need vitamin D3. It's really important, or else your calcium won't work. And if you want to believe in the whole COVID thing, when everybody died and all those things, every one of them had one thing in common. They had zero vitamin D levels or very low. And so what happened? They can say, oh, he died of that. He died of that one. That one took him by the lungs. That one got his heart over there. That got that deal and there and there. No, everything was every one of those people had one thing in common that they didn't tell you. They were acidic. They died of acidosis. Okay. And then that's why that came first before the lungs gave out. That came first before the heart went, or the pneumonia got him, or whatever. First, it was acidosis. Got so bad that all this other stuff set in. So that's it. That's how you alkalize. But there's more. Oh gosh, I was just ready to get rid of Mike. Now he's going to get into more. All right, so here's how it works, right? Let's talk about the super sprout sterols, right? And here's the super sprout sterols. This is really important because we're the only company in the world that has this product. Nothing even close to it because of the way it was produced. Okay. With that being said, here's how they work. There's no plant. There's no super fruit. There's no essential oil. There's nothing. Absolutely zero, nothing in the world that will get rid of disease and the worst thing you could possibly get. One thing does it. Only one thing. Does anybody know that? I'm going to hydrate and alkalize. I got my pH drops in there. If you can tell me in there, in the chat, what actually hates all disease? What hates disease? What can't stand disease? What inside your body can't stand disease? Perfect. Man, it's amazing. I love it when I'm gonna have to send out a written test. You're right. Your T lymphocytes. Your T lymphocytes. That's what hates all disease. Your immune system. Your immune system. All right. Which carries your T lymphocytes. So let's just say that a T lymphocyte, you know what? I knew I'd forget something. Oh, yeah. All right. I'll do it this way, right? Hang on. Look at my cabinets. Look at my refrigerator. And now you can look at these two. See, the minute I leave, Connie leaves. Look at these two golf balls. All right. Let's make believe that these are two red blood cells. Or if you saw what I just seen happen to Seagal a little bit, then you could do one of these. No, I'm just kidding. So these are two red blood cells, right? So with that being said, you got these two red blood cells, and I can only hold these two golf balls in my hand. So this is a much larger scale, but this is the size of a T lymphocyte. It's a cell inside the body that can hold two golf balls, or two red blood cells, not golf balls, I'm sorry. So just like my hand holds the two golf balls, your T lymphocytes will only be big enough to hold two red blood cells in the healthiest person alive. And we know you are not the healthiest person alive, and probably not me either. So what do? We take these super sprout sterols. We can do this in two ways. Okay. We can do, let's tell you what they do first. Once you ingest these sterols, they're going to get into your bloodstream, and they do one job. All they do is one thing. They do have enzymes in there as well, but they do one thing. They get to your T lymphocytes, and every human being that's alive that will take them, and they'll inflate those T lymphocytes 5 to 7 times larger than the ones you have right now. 750% more efficient, and 1,325% more active inside the human body. Now your immune system is like Superman. Superman. Okay? True story. The proper way to take these is you take them in the when you get up in the morning, or if you're a male, you'll get this. Okay? Because I don't know any male that's past the age of 30 some years old that isn't getting up at least once a night to go use the bathroom. Right? So I like to, I'm like clockwork. I get up maybe once a night to go number one. How's that? I'll say it that way. And what do? Is I take these super sprout sterols immediately. I take 3 or 4 of them. I don't count because it's dark, but I know I get at least 3. All right. Sometimes 4, maybe sometimes 5. It's just whatever, but that's what you do. But in order to get those T lymphocytes really large, what you do is you can do this 2 ways. 6 of these every morning, and you don't eat and you don't drink anything. You do not eat and you do not drink a thing for 1 hour, okay? Because I have to get into your system to get to the T lymphocytes without any type of interruptions. So with that being said, you can take 6 of these things for 3 months every day. And then after that, you only need 3 a day for the rest of your life. Okay. Now, or you could do it, and then that will work in 90 days. Now your T lymphocytes will be huge. Or you can take 3 of these every day, and it would take about 9 months for your T lymphocytes to get that large. So if you want it in 3 months, take 6. If you want it in 9 months, take 3. But after that, you only need to take 3 after that, or else you'd be wasting. Perfect. Let's go back to alkalizing for a second, right? And we can say, going over into here, we're going to grab this. I'm going to use this as a demonstration, all right? And I can say this is part of alkalizing. It's a huge part of alkalizing, but this is optional, okay? And for me, I do it every day because I like what it does. And we developed a product called the electro mineral salts, all right? The cell salts, CELL. Well, that pretty much explains, okay? So we got 4 minerals inside. We got lots of minerals inside our body. 4 of them are the key to life, are essential for life. You wouldn't be living without the right amounts: calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. So what happens is our body is much like this water bottle, okay? And this water bottle has a little boot on it. But this is the perfect example, because every morning when you wake up, right there, that's all you got. No more. Nobody's got more. This is every human body. That's how much calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium you're going to get to use for all your bodily functions all day long. You blink, you do this, you move, you eat, you snore. Every function in the human body is enzymatic activity. So what happens is that's all we got, right? And if you're getting stressed and things are not going wrong, or things are not going wrong, then they'd be going right. If things are not going right, or if we got stress, anything, we're tired, whatever the case might be, your body's going to start using these minerals up really, really quickly. And I could probably say that by the end of the day, all this is gone in probably everybody, okay? Now comes nighttime. Now we got nothing. So what happens now is your body needs that calcium, and it needs all those things. So it's going to start pulling calcium from the heart, from the bones, from the teeth. You've heard of osteoporosis. Come on now. It's going to start pulling magnesium from the muscles. It's going to start pulling potassium from all your internal organs. And then it's going to start pulling sodium from every single solitary cell in your body, because every cell is made up with sodium. So I like to be protected. I like what's called protective measures. So when you take these cell salts, 1 scoop. You can do it twice a day if you want, no more than twice. But 1 in the morning, 1 at night, guess what happens? Here's what happens to your body. This all fills up to the top. So what happens is your body now throughout the day is using all of this, and then boom, time to go to bed. Now you got all this for your body to use. It's the most perfect combination in the world. And there's vitamin C in there. We can get into that, but C is huge and it's great and it's good. So, we'll talk about that someday. But that is genius. Let's just put it that way. Genius, right? That's the cell salts. Optional, but alkalizing. All right. We've talked about alkalizing. Now you could take calcium, right? It has a lot of forms of calcium in it because what it does is we talked about calcium. This is simple. Just follow the directions, but it gives you a big spurt of calcium citrate that dissolves immediately and gets used. And there's all different types of calcium in there for obvious reasons. And one of the types of calcium that we have in here is one that dissolves extremely slow. So you get disbursements throughout the day. And don't worry, because if you don't use it, if your body doesn't use all that, it's going to go out the next time you flush. Okay? Right. Perfect. Now we only got 3 more things. We're going to talk shortly, about the 7.365 shake. All right. A certified organic pH balance shake. Anything that you see in this company has the ionic charge in it. So it's all got the charges, which means faster, unbelievable assimilation. We just went through that, and what it does and why that charge is there. That goes with all our powders. But guess what? These things taste great. And you know what? Oh, well, what does Mike do? I want to do what Mike does. Yeah, right. I won't go there. Mike opens this up and pulls out milkadamia, okay? Or organic coconut milk. Those are the things that I use. Shut this up because last time Seagal was here, I think I was missing a lot of that stuff too. So anyway, that's amazing. So that's what we do. That's what Mike does. I use a nut milk, okay? And you know what? If you're a company that develops products that actually get nominated for a Nobel Prize, I think you're a company that really knows what you're doing. So this shake is 7.365 for a reason. It's a pH balanced shake. So if you're going to take it, I would add this along with your alkalizing because it's a very good combination and it all works together. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is, which I think is extremely important. You have to understand everything about free radicals, right? We got telomeres in our body. Telomeres, the extension of our telomeres. Nobody can make a telomere longer. So don't let nobody make you believe that because that's out there and it's crazy. But you need to keep them extremely healthy and protect your body from free radicals, which are things that enter our environmental things inside your body that can do a ton of damage. Well, let's talk about what we do. Well, we talk about antioxidants. That's huge. Antioxidants is so huge for the human body, and keeping it healthy. And, you'll hear people out there talking about glutathione. Well, that's great. Your liver produces glutathione. And you can take things. There's a few companies out there, take this because it'll help you produce glutathione. Well, after 51 years old, 50 to 51 years old, you're not producing any glutathione. If somebody's telling you that, let's just call it what it is. It's a straight out lie. So you can't take a pill and think it's going to make glutathione because your body can't do it anymore, no matter what they tell you. Okay. It's proven not to, it doesn't do it. Okay. Plus people say take glutathione. Well, it's not going to work because glutathione now, if you're taking it, is synthetic. Because remember, it's being made in the liver. Whose liver is this coming out of? It's not. It's synthetic. Don't be taking outside glutathione. Well, we're going to need it. We need that, right? It's the strongest antioxidant in the world. Yeah. Guess what else? What's even stronger than that? manually putting in antioxidants that really matter, that can do even more than the strongest antioxidant that you can have, because you can increase that strength. How? By taking super reds, okay? I know there's companies out there that love what we do because I've watched the labels look exactly the same, and these guys are calling it the same exact thing. But let me tell you something. Everything we do is all, again, 100% certified organic, raw, alkaline, whole food nutrition. Keyword is whole food nutrition, not when you see on a label and it says goji powder, that's telling you it's fruit juice powder, because that's what they got to put. If it's powder, it's powder. It's coming from the fruit juice. You don't have to put that on there if you're using the whole plant. Okay. I believe in the whole plant because it goes juice powders first. That's just about, you might as well drink water. There's hardly any nutrition. Then you go to concentrates and then extracts, and then the whole plant, whole live, whole food nutrition, right? And these were a lot of thought went into these things, because you know what? There's a lot of things with xanthones and getting your blood, doing all these things that this does for, being heart healthy and, having the right phytonutrients and, for your blood sugar, everything. I mean, this was probably one of the greatest creations we made, because we know the superfoods really well. And that's why they're there. But what about, I like this one. What about moringa, Mike? Well, guess what? Moringa is great, but as much moringa as you'd have to take for that moringa to actually work properly inside the body, it ain't happening, because you know what? You'd be all moringa'd out, because for goodness sakes, you have to sit there and eat 3/4 a day of that stuff. So again, don't listen to that nonsense, because it's just what I said, nonsense, right? Then we can go to probably the strongest product that has ever been made in the world. Strongest. Listen to what I'm saying, okay? You'll never find anything stronger than this. We're going to go into this because it's really important. There's no company that can make a stronger product than this. Not even us. I know you're saying, oh no, Mike, you said that, not even you. I thought you can do everything. Yeah, right. Well, we can get in that, but not even us. But there's one place that the strongest product in the world could actually sustain life, meaning you could just eat that and water and live longer and healthier and no disease and more vibrant and better sleep and everything better than that. Any body can actually function by doing one thing, and it's taking bee tabs that are produced by the honeybees. Okay. Now you can go out there and go say, well, I take honey, Mike, right? That might do 10 things to you, right? And you could take propolis by itself, or you could take, jelly, Royal bee jelly by itself, or pollen all by itself. And it's only going to do 10 things because it's by itself. But if you take the right amount of each one of those 4 components, honey, pollen, jelly, propolis, in the right amounts, and use cross-pollinated, because if I use stuff from the Midwest, it'll help Connie, but it's not going to help Seagal. If I use stuff out there, it's going to help Seagal. It's not going to, got to use cross-pollinated so it helps everybody in the world. And guess what? Boom. Then you got the bee tabs in the right amounts. Then you can go again. Don't listen to Mike. You go online and you go order that book, Health from the Hive, from Carlton Wade. And then you know what happens? Boom. You will see that these bee tabs will do 1,200 different things for the human body. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. And I've had these since 1994. So it isn't like something, and I come from, my uncle still has 4 bee colonies up in Wisconsin. So I know bees, right? And I may not know too many C's and A's and D's, but I know the bees. And So that is huge, huge. Again, you could just eat this and water and be healthier than anybody on the planet. That is all our products. I'm going to tell you something, all right? I don't make stuff to make stuff. I don't make stuff to have stuff. I don't do it, all right? So the thing is you're not going to find that here. We do things that, make sense for the human body and all we need and so on and so forth, but you aren't going to get a bunch of just stuff. Now, we're going to take a little trip because I'm going to turn on the lights here and move in over here. All right. So I'm going to set this up. And what I'm going to do now, we're just going to walk around and take a tour. Well, over here we got the alligators, and it's like I feel like a zookeeper. Hang on one second. Gotta grab the water so I can hydrate. And then what we're going to do is we are going to answer questions. How do you like that? Because Mike's got to sit down. Speed tabs are running out. All right, let me get this to set up properly. Probably all getting dizzy with all this walking around I'm doing. Where else? I need one more. All right. I need a pillow fluffer. Where's Addie? Okay, perfect. There we are. So we're open for questions. How do you like that? Unmute yourself, ask the questions, and there we have.
Hey,
Good
Mike,
stuff.
are the cell salts good for somebody who has high BP?
Well, yeah, I mean, because we're for somebody who has high blood pressure, you need more enzymes than you need anything else. Because bottom line is something's getting clogged up to create that spike. So enzymes and probiotics first.
Hey, Mike, my question is with the probiotics. If you're eating like 6 small meals a day, do you need to take one before each of the meals or just 3 of the
How
meals?
small is the meal?
Like portion size, about maybe the size of a fist kind of stuff?
I would do it every other one.
Okay.
But I would take enzymes for everyone.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, Mike. If we are going out, say for a steak dinner, you said to take 8 enzymes and the probiotic. Do I take that before the meal or do I take it at bedtime?
Well, we're going to go out for a steak dinner. I'm going to take Laura out for the steak dinner and we're going to drive up. And you know when we're going to do our enzymes? Before you even get out of the car. That's when you're going to do it. You're going to take them before you go into that restaurant.
Great. What about the probiotic? Take that also
Yeah.
for the meal or with the meal?
They're all right before.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody? You got any questions? Here's where you get them answered.
You know what? I do have one more question in regard to my husband. He's got a very high metabolism and his pH is usually 7.8. So I'm wondering, should we do stuff to lower that for him or what?
Why would you lower it? There's no reason to lower it. You want it. That's good. I'm glad he's got that pH. That's a good sign. People will love to have that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you don't lower it. And he's never going to be too alkaline. There is no, could theoretically, I mean, mathematically, could you get too alkaline? Sure. But has anybody seen it ever in the human race? Nobody's seen it past 8.
Like, I have a question. Are the sugars, the natural sugars in fruit, does that affect someone who has disease or has cancer? Should they, or is that okay? Is it only processed sugars that they need to avoid?
Fruit sugar is simple sugar. Okay. So simple sugar is a form of energy. And, we're talking about, all this added stuff that's going on out there with the, because it's being bleached and all the crazy stuff that goes into anything processed. I mean, really sugar, carbohydrates are even worse than sugar. I mean, what's your worst enemy? Sometimes it's not a sugar. Carbohydrates are worse than sugars.
Okay. And is there a list somewhere of foods that are better to eat if you are trying to alkalize?
Just go online, look up the alkaline diet. I don't particularly, I listen to my body because like I said, last night I cheated and I'm in misery for probably the next 2 days. So, yeah. What products are good for high cholesterol? Somebody asked. Real simple. You wouldn't have any bad cholesterol issues if you had the proper amount of digestive enzymes working throughout your body. And that's the first thing you do. You take enzymes. If you take enzymes, you'll get rid of all that cholesterol and plaque and calcification and cardiologists. So, all right. Usually.
I have a question. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Is also bad for you? What about those naturally fermented soy versus like lab engineered that's in our products? And what about tofu?
The only thing that we use is a sprout. We don't use a plant when it comes to.
No, I'm talking about like in our food.
Oh, in your foods, in food,
Right.
you stay away from soy. So there's no way that there's nobody in the world or no process that exists that can get all the isoflavones out of soy, which is very bad for estrogen and hormones. And it's crazy. It's crazy. So you stay away from that stuff as much as you possibly can.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there a difference between concentrate and whole food?
Huge difference. That's why I said it goes in those orders. Goes, what's the worst thing is fruit juice powders. What's the second worst? Concentrates. What's the third and it's not that concentrates are as bad as, it ain't like it's really bad. The juice powders are bad, but concentrates aren't that much more nutrition. So you want nutrition. Got to eat you don't go like, well, you know what? I want all that nutrition from that banana or the carrot or whatever. Eat the whole plant. That's the way it works. That's how you do it. There's no better way of doing it than that. Look at the healthiest people alive, and they follow the diets where they're actually just going out there and picking the plants and eating them right away. So, all right. What else we got? All right. Hopefully, was I that good? Or was I just, do we got to wake everybody up?
I thought it was very informative. Thank you.
The human body, I get it. We grow up and we all grew up, if you're, in a world where the medical system wants you to think that everything is so complicated because they want to become rich off of, of what they've done. And you know, I should post this. I'm sure I'll get I'm borderline in trouble with just practically about everything, but there's this, when it comes to this kind of stuff, but, I'll tell you what it is. Let's see, I'm a doctor. And here's what it says. This guy wrote this documentary. I'm a doctor. You shouldn't trust us. Okay. So this is written by a doctor. And it's pretty interesting. I didn't read it yet, but my doctor, and it's crazy to watch Rick Chamberlain sit there and, you know, one of the leading trauma surgeons, you know, in the United States, talk people out of medical school because it's so corrupt, because the medical system's so corrupt. So the medical system wants you to think that this space that we live in is so extremely complicated. And again, doctors practice medicine. They don't know what, you know, they practice. You are who they're practicing on. Okay. But it's just so happens that, our the good Lord created us to, we were alkaline when we were born. So we were born alkaline, which means we were alkaline there in that environment. And then we're acidic by behavior. And he designed this system here that if you can get it to operate so bad that you get a chronic situation, or if you get sick with anything, guess what? Your body's designed to get better as well. And that's what we have to remember. And it's very simple. There's people are like, well, Mike, what are you going to bring out next? What are you going to bring out next, Mike? Well, guess what? That's all you need. You want me to bring out why bring out something just for what? To make money or to you don't need more than what I just explained. That is complete alkalization. And that's why when you hear anybody say, yeah, I'm in this company, or I'm doing that, and I'm doing that, and I'm alkalizing. Well, how are you doing that? I take this. Just that? You can't. Got to do it all, its components. Blood, internal environment, being well oiled so it releases toxicity, enough vitamin D for the calcium, the buffer. We can go. That's, it's how it works. All right.
Yes.
Hey, Mike, it's Deborah from Oklahoma City. I just wanted to say that it's been a very good time here tonight, and I've learned a lot, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I will do this again. I mean, we'll do this maybe once every 3 months, because you know what? You learn something new every time you hear something, and I don't always, I don't script it. I don't sit there and read stuff and read off a screen. So, something always comes up that's different. So it's also good to get this. And look, you know what? Could almost eliminate the whole medical system other than emergencies if you did the right thing and we taught people how to do the right thing. This company is all based around education. That's what this company is. And so when you're out there building a business, I get it. You're building a business no matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you're talking to people about whatever that is, right? And if you were building a business with Essante Organics and you went and talked to 10 people about Essante Organics, you know what? And then you go talk to them about, here's these 10 people. Those are 10 people. In every business, it doesn't matter. Here's the big thing about business. You got customers. That's it. Every business survives on customers. And, I don't know a person in the world yet that would see this stuff and not do it. And it baffles me but I can't say that. It baffles me that somebody can see this stuff and not do it, because I've had people call me up. You know what? Tell you what, I'm going to read this message to you. And I'll let you hear what she said. So it just came in over the weekend. I just need to find it. Well, okay, so here we go. I decided today that I don't know why I have not done your products a long time ago. I've been watching you forever to get your advice. And then it was Dad, and we know what was coming there. My doctor has done a series of tests on me and has prescribed a list of things for me to take from this company called whatever. And half of it's half of it is medical, which is medicine, and the other half are products. And I'm still yet to wonder how they can actually work together. And so she put the list on there that they told him to take. There's not one thing that's even right. And then she goes, and then she says, now after doing that for years and not getting any results, but I keep listening to you, I'm done with the bad stuff. Maybe you can recommend what I should be taking besides all these horrific pills every day. You are so good. Thanks. And then their name. And, I wish she would have done what I told her to do years ago. We wouldn't be having this conversation. So will she get better? 1000%. But she didn't have to go through all these years of craziness to get to that point. So, yeah. I was reading the comments. I meet a lot of nurses just in my life. I've yet to find a nurse that said they would trust a doctor. I don't find any nurses that tell me that. Not one. So, yeah.
Hey, Mike, it's Kat. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that this has nothing, I don't have any questions, but I just want to say that I really appreciate you showing up tonight. You could have easily canceled. It's been kind of an emotional couple days. Not everybody knows and they don't need to know, but just the fact that you showed up, I appreciate that tonight.
I think in life, my belief in life is that, my belief isn't everybody's belief, but my belief is that we're here to serve people, right? And we got talents. We're all different, and we all got talents. And if my talent is to do all this research, which I do a lot of, oh my gosh, and educate people and produce things that can help them, and then educate around that, then guess what? Thousands, tens of thousands of people I can think of that, their lives have changed by just changing, the fuel that they're using in their transportation device, right? Which is your body, and changing what you're doing and what you're putting on yourself. And, I'll do this to my last breath. I mean, so get a good look at me now, because when I'm 85 telling you about this, you'll be like, whoa, gosh, now he's 85 and he's talking same thing. It would be the same thing. It was the same thing 35, 40 years ago. It's the same thing right now. There's no difference. So what the information is. And, again, you got to understand that what we just went over is all you need. There's nothing more, nothing less, if you want to be really at an optimal place in your life. Yeah, I'll be using the Z3. I'll look exactly the same. You're right. So anybody else? All right. So every Tuesday night, we do our opportunity meetings. And, I think, here's what I think. If you, what's the word I'm looking for? If you you should share this with as many people as you possibly can if you have this knowledge, and let them do with it what they want. And you'll probably be getting a whole ton of messages as well. Man, if I would have only listened back then, and so on and so forth. So it's our job to go out there and tell the world, because Mike can't do it all by himself. And then if we all do it, then we all, gain the rewards, and of being able to do that. And all it is simply sharing. That's just we're not out there trying to sell something like a used car salesman, or not that that's wrong. A used car salesman is wrong, but we're not out there to sell and do all this crazy stuff. We're out there to share. We're out there we do that every day anyway. So why not share this stuff and let people decide, because in life, right decisions, wrong decisions should have made, decisions we can correct a decision, right? And at one point, a decision has to be made in your life. And if you want to live a healthy life, you have to take care of yourself. That, putting that 7, 80s and some of on and things like that. But now when we get older, life, you take a strip, right? And it was crazy. I saw this guy do it. He has a strip that's like yay long, and it was 1 to 100. He says, well, the average lifespan is, this age. And so he rips it off at that age. I'm not going to say the age because, we get some people that might be, but he rips it off and he goes, and he rips it off there, and he's 60, right? This guy was 60, and he rips this thing off. It was a perfect thing. He goes, see this, I probably will never live that long, because that's just the longest. So he tossed it down. Then he went up to, and he had the average lifespan was 75, right? So he had it at 75. Then he went to where his age is, up to 60, and he grabbed that piece, and then he said, and then he held that up, and he said, this is how long I've lived. I will never, ever, ever get that time back. It's gone. I've lived it. So then he had this little strip. He goes, this is my life. And then that just like put everything into perspective. And he's like, that's why I'm going to take care of us. So that shot it out. And that's what I can say. So, all right. Anybody else? You know what? So, yes.
Shanna had a question, and she's asked it a couple of times. How do the power pops work?
They work with energy and for weight loss. That's simple. And a glass of water activates the ingredients. You want energy, have a power pop with water. That's it. You want to lose weight on them 30 minutes before you eat. You have a power pop with water, have water right after the power pop. So you flush all that toxicity out, then go eat. That is simple. You can't make it any harder than that. So you got them for energy, weight loss, whichever one you want. And they work. And people know that. 4 patents on that product. So every Tuesday night, we do a business opportunity meeting. Every Tuesday night, every Tuesday, nonstop. We don't miss it. Bring 5 guests in. You have a chance to win $100 cash. Comes right at you in PayPal. Go get those 5 people, whoever they might be, 5 new people to come listen in and find out what's really cooking, what's happening. So with that being said, I thank you guys tonight for being here with us. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless your businesses. And we'll see you again on another broadcast. And I'll definitely see you tomorrow night with a different shirt on. How's that? Seagull probably wearing the same one because she washed it right in front of us. All right. Perfect. Peace out. Y'all have a wonderful evening. God bless you all.
Bye.